Hi, I'm Megan Cassidy. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications at the Wellesley Centers for Women. And I'm here with Wendy and Ninotska today to talk about the internship Ninotska did at the Wellesley Centers for Women this year. So Ninotska, can you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ninotska Love. I am class of 2020 Davis Scholar, and I work with Dr. Wendy Robeson over the academic year of 2019-2020.
And I'm Wendy Robeson, and I greet everyone from Cheever House here at Wellesley College. And my focus is on childcare and childcare policy, but as you will learn, my interns can do anything they wish.
So Ninotska, can you tell us about what you decided to study while you were working with Wendy?
Absolutely. I think during the spring of 2018, I worked with one of my professors regarding a stereotype thread. And I was very interested about that, and I wish to continue and pursuing that further, just because I wanted to have statistics on it. When I attended the meeting that they hold every year, she said, "Oh, I'm studying about children, and like you can choose anything you like." And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is the perfect opportunity for me to do this further." So my topic of interest is stereotype thread on trans, non-binary, or gender non-conforming people who identify as such. And so I think it was the perfect opportunity for me, and also as a transgender woman, like this is a topic to continue pursuing further.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you found in the research that you've been doing so far, or was there anything that stood out to you while you were going through the work?
Absolutely. There were definitely a couple of, preconceived notions of what I thought I will find. The data correlated that in terms of like the anxiety that individuals who identify as trans, non-binary, or gender non-conforming may have have in order to fulfill the expectations society have about them and their performance of their gender. I was able to do a survey at Wellesley College, and I have 166 responses. And throughout the questions and just the survey, and also through one-to-one conversations, I was able to see that not everyone, but the people who identify as such, because of course, from the data, not everyone identify as such at Wellesley. There are students who identify as cisgender women, and therefore they were not affected at all. They didn't have the notion of anxiety, and if they did have the anxiety, it was a different kind of anxiety that the one individuals in the transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming community may have had.
So can both of you now talk a little bit about the internship process and how you work together to go from the initial idea to then deciding to do a survey and getting the survey out and doing the analysis?
So I look for a student that has passion about a particular subject. And I think that if they follow their passion and what they really, really want to understand in greater depth is the person that makes the best intern. So on that day, I had someone come running up to my table, smiling and full of passion. And I thought, my gosh, I want this student. And luckily, it turned out that Ninotska was my student. And what we do is we meet, and we have been meeting weekly, and we go over ideas, because we know it's only an academic year. It's not a 5-year project. It's just one academic year. So you cannot study everything you want, but if you follow your passion, you come up with the questions you want to have answers to. And I had such a wonderful student who was able to do a literature review, make her own survey, administer the survey, follow through with other students, and do individualized interviews. So we're talking a lot of data collection, a lot of analysis, a lot of thought went into the paper that she wrote, and it was just excellent. The only thing that I wish we could have done was the Ruhlman conference, because I know you would have shined. You would have been wonderful, and I'm just sorry that we didn't get to do that.
So how does your work with students like Ninotska benefit the work that you do at the centers?
As I said, I do work in childcare policy, so you might think it's kind of different, but all my interns have greatly influenced me. They have had me explore different avenues of research. I have learned so much from my interns that I am just a better person for having Ninotska in my life. And what maybe I will not apply what she has learned from her research this year directly, but it's going to affect me indirectly. And one thing I need to emphasize is that once my intern does her work and her presentation, she has not left my life. So my interns become my colleagues. So you're no longer a student for me, you're a colleague. So and I have people stay with me forever, which I really am grateful for.
Thank you. And Ninotska, now that you've done this internship, do you think it helped you as you think about what's next, what you're going to do after Wellesley, any career or educational goals that you might have for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been very invested in advocating for the transgender and gender-nonconforming community. Over the past few years, I've been doing so. Definitely, I had this opportunity in New York City working peer-related, which I think this work is very important to further understand what these people are going through, not only at that particular stage of their life, but to better understand them at a later stage. So that's very applicable in my opinion. Also, I'm very grateful to Wendy that she allowed me to do that with youth, even though she's very like concentrated in children. I thought about it first doing it for children, but since my data collected was only for Wellesley students, and then I was rather thinking about what they went through or face in middle and high school and how do they feel now that they are in a college student.
Ninotska, is there anything that you'd say to Wellesley students who are thinking about doing an internship with the Wellesley Centers for Women?
Oh my God, this has been a very amazing opportunity. Not only I'm grateful because Wendy has been extremely understanding. I mean, we're humans, right? I went through a couple of issues, maybe three, throughout that time. And she was very understanding. I've always tried to like put the work for her when I needed to, and I shared what I had to. She helped me with the collection of data, meaning like creating the survey and like make sure the questions were right. We went through like this whole process of getting like the signatures from students about like the non-disclosure, about like sharing their personal information. She was definitely a very essential part of this opportunity, so I wouldn't be able to do this without her help. I think for anyone who is thinking and considering, this is just going to be a great deal of exposure for anything they want to do after in their careers. I think my research skills have definitely improved by working at the Wellesley Centers for Women.
Thank you. Thank you both so much. I think this was really great to hear about your project and to hear about the work you did all year. And I think other people are going to be really excited to hear about it too. So is there anything else that I did not ask about that either of you would want to add?
Something that I would like to add, it's that besides me understanding the what is it called? Me understanding the anxiety that these people may face, the main reason why I wanted to do this as well, it's because I feel like this could change the life, like the personal life of so many individuals, but also it can, if gets to be explored further, I think academic institutions may be able to improve that at the school level and like in the across the board in the United States for high schoolers, for for people who go to middle school. And I think that will only improve society as a whole. So that's one thing. And the other, it's like people is always terrified about applying. And I think I was terrified as well going through the interview, going through the second interview. But I think you can only have one chance on doing it. So just go ahead, apply, and be yourself. I think at the end of the day, that's the best thing that you can do.
Wendy, do you have anything else that you want to say?
I say to future students, if you have a passion that you really want to pursue and you have questions you want answered, then the WCW internship is the place to go. You'll get your answers and hopefully you'll get the mentorship that you need to.
All right, thank you.